Okay, welcome to the video on representing data with stem and leaf plots. And so we've already done a box plot, which is one way to represent data. The focus of today's lesson is going to be on something known as the stem and leaf plot. Okay, so we're going to get straight into it, and I'm going to explain a lot of the key steps in creating or in interpreting a stem and leaf plot using example 1. And so here we can see what is known as a stem and leaf plot. The idea is that these numbers on the left-hand column are what is known as the stem. Each of these numbers on the right-hand side are what are known as the leaves. What we do, what you'll notice is that the stem is arranged in ascending order. So it's going from smallest to biggest. As we progress down, each of the values is getting bigger. Each of the leaves is also arranged in ascending order. And so they are in order and they go from smallest to biggest. And then the other thing we must pay careful attention to is the key. And so in a stem and leaf plot, what we do is the stem is everything except the rightmost digit. So we essentially, each of these leaves is the rightmost digit, but what we need is a key so that we understand, is this number 111 or is it in fact 1.12? And the decimal place could be in lots of different places, and so that is the purpose of the key, is so that we understand the numbers we're reading. In this particular case, what we have here is 1.111. So this stem is effectively 1.1, and each of these are a different number. 1.11, 1.12, 1.14, and so forth. If we come down here, if I take this stem with this, that would be 1.57 would be the number that I'm talking about. So this is how stem and leaf plots are organized. And so you're going to need to know this in order to be able to interpret them, and you're also going to be able to need to know how to set one up yourself. Okay. Notice here as well, we can do this. You can do it with the calculator, but one of the advantages of a stem and leaf plot once it's established is that there's a lot of stuff you can do without your calculator. And so one of the things that we can do, which I think I'll reference down here, one of the things that's also good about a stem and leaf plot, if you imagine this being flipped onto its side, so rotated, and you imagine this as the x-axis, you can also get an idea of the shape of the distribution, which is something we're going to talk about in a future lesson. So just something to keep in mind for later. Okay, so let's get into the specifics of this example. Now we've got an idea of how the stem and leaf plot is set up. And so this we're going to do without the TI Nspire. You'll see on the right here I have got it set up, but that's for a later example. Okay, so the first question is how many numbers are in the data set. So what you really need to do is look at the number of leaves. So that will tell you how many numbers there are. So effectively what we want to do is count all of the numbers inside there. Okay, and so hopefully you can see that they're nicely arranged in columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6, 12, 18, 24, 25, 6, 7, 8, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So that's literally just a counting exercise. That tells us that n equals 35. There are 35 numbers in our data set. Now we need the median value. Remember, the median value is the middle value. And it is the middle value when the numbers are arranged in order. Okay, and so the numbers must be arranged in order. This has been referenced in class. One of the ways we can do this is you can cross off numbers as you go from the bottom and then from the top, and you work your way towards the middle. So that's a perfectly acceptable, perfectly effective way of doing it, particularly with a stem and leaf plot. The other way, of course, is to figure out if there are 35 numbers and I want to split that into two equal groups, then what I'm after is the 18th value, and the reason for that is there would be 17 values above and 17 values below. And so the 18th value is the middle value, and so if we know we're looking for the 18th value, then I can simply count from either side. Actually, it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That is the 18th value, and so Q2, which is the median, is equal to 1.38. Okay, again, and that is based on the interpretation or our understanding of the stem. So 138 is in fact 1.38. That is our median value. Okay, we mentioned this actually, the mode, in the very first lesson. Mode is the most frequently occurring value. Again, in a stem and leaf plot format where it's arranged in order, it should be pretty easy just to skim over and see which number repeats more than any other. Keep in mind there can be more than one mode. In this case, one number repeats more than any other number, and that number is 1.68. Okay, range. Remember, the formula for range is to take the maximum value and subtract the minimum value. In this particular case, once again, because these are arranged in order, it's very easy to see our minimum value and our maximum value over there. And so what we want to do is subtract those two numbers. So our maximum value 1.86, our minimum value 1.11, and if we subtract those two, we'll get the range, and that is 0.75. Okay, next question asks for the value for Q1, the first quartile. And so what you've got to realize is this: the Q2, the median value, cuts the data into two groups of 17. Now what we need to do is look for Q1 is the middle value of the bottom group. Okay, and so there are 17 values in the bottom half, and what we need is the middle value, and so we are after, in this case, the 8th value, and I beg your pardon, the 9th value, sorry. The 9th value is what we're after. The 9th value is going to have 8 values above and 8 values below. So 8 values above and below, and so we are after the 9th value. And so now we go to the stem plot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so my Q1 value, 1.26. Very similar question. Now we are being asked to find Q3. And so we've got to be a little bit careful. Again, it's the 9th value in the upper half of the group. Okay, and so this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to count from the top down. And so again, we've got, you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 values. Let me just, I'm going to just put a little highlight on there. And so all of these numbers here are part of the top half. And what we're interested in is the middle of those. There's 17 of them. And so that's the 9th value, and I'm going to count down from the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And my Q3 value, 1.57. Okay, and now we can see how to interpret and use a stem and leaf plot. What we're going to do now is go ahead in this example, and we're going to draw our own stem and leaf plot. What I've done is I've gone ahead and I've entered each of these values that you see listed over here into a spreadsheet. And the reason for that is I'm going to show you a very efficient way of sorting the numbers. And so what I'm going to do is just give myself a little bit of space there, come back to the calculator. I'm going to select that row, and then I'm just going to push the up cursor so that it highlights the entire row. And then I'm going to go to menu, and you'll see under actions that one of the options is to sort. And so I'm going to sort, this is list B, and I'm going to sort into ascending order because we go from smallest to biggest in a stem plot. I click OK, and what this has done for me is it has arranged my numbers in ascending order, and now it should be very, very simple for me to set up my stem and leaf plot. Okay, and so that's what I'm going to do over here. I'm start off, my smallest number is 22. If I scroll down to the bottom, you can see the largest number of this data is 60, and so my stem will go from 2 right through to 6. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are my stems. My leaves will be each individual number. So 22, 25, 34, 35, 41. Let me just come back over to the calculator and scroll down. So we had another 41, 46, 46, 46, 47. Come back to the calculator and just scroll down. And our last few numbers, we had a 49. Then we move into the 50s, 54, 54, 59. Oh, sorry. And our last number, 60. Okay, and so the calculator has helped us to set up our stem and leaf plot. The last thing we need to do is pick any number. I'm going to pick 3/4 and just write a key to show that that represents 34, because of course someone may be reading this without the original data. So very quickly we're going to determine our median. Median is going to be the middlemost value. We have got 15 numbers in our data set, so that was given, and so what we're after is the 8th value, and so our median is the 8th value, and our 8th value is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 46. Okay, very quickly before we run out of time on the video, what I need to do is also find the mean. And what we're going to do with the mean is I'll go back and I'm going to use the calculator. So control, add a page. I'm going to add the calculator, menu, statistics, stat calculations, one variable stats, one list, and the list this time I called homers as in home runs. Click OK, and what we have is X bar, which is 43.93. So my average is 43.93 recurring. And then the last thing I want to do is you can see that my median and my mean are slightly different, not hugely different, but a little bit different. And so we want to look at how the stem and leaf plot explains that. And what you can see is that the mean is slightly lower than the median, and that is of course because if you look at the graph, we have got more values to the left if we were to turn this around, or below, than we do above, and so as a result of that, or rather not more values, let me correct, the values that are below are further away than the values that are above, and that causes the mean to be pulled down. Okay, and what you need to do at this point, copy those down, including a comment on the difference, and then turn your attention to the assignment, which is in your the red textbook.